Phone call between the president and the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Sources telling CNN that the president at one point wasn't happy earlier today about a report he saw regarding the online retail giant.
Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm.
On Amazon, in this report that Amazon might start listing the additional cost on specific items put in place by the tariffs, the president is clearly angry.
Starting tomorrow, the United States will implement reciprocal tariffs on other nations.
Amazon just pulled a $13 billion disappearing act from US supply chains, and it's like watching someone light the economy on fire and then complain about the smoke. This is not some minor glitch in the Matrix. This is a full-blown set the system on fire, abandon ship moment for one of the biggest companies in the world. And guess what? It didn't happen because of market forces or innovation. Nope. It happened because someone in power said, what if we made everything way more expensive just for fun? It all started in April 2025 when Trump launched his big, bold, brain cell draining trade move, a 145% tariff on goods from China. That's not a tax, that's a straight up blockade, unless you're a fan of $3,000 microwaves and $900 yoga pants. This was bad news. Amazon, which controls 40% of US e-commerce, looked at the math and said, hard pass.
Instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal, that means they do it to us and we do it to them.
This is my livelihood. This is how we put food on the table. It could put me out of business.
Within 2 months, they slashed supply chain contracts like it was Black Friday for logistics. Out went China, in came Mexico, Vietnam, and India. And this wasn't some polite pivot. This was a logistical jailbreak. Contracts worth billions were shredded, shipping lanes were rerouted, suppliers were ghosted like bad Tinder dates, and new warehouses popping up faster than Starbucks in the early 2000s. So now, instead of goods flowing into LA and Long Beach ports, they're rolling through Tijuana like tequila on Cinco de Mayo. Mexico's getting new warehouses, India's boosting its electronics production, Vietnam's shipping out so much stuff, it's basically the new Amazon Prime. Meanwhile, in the USA, the ports are silent, dock workers are standing around like they just got ghosted by the global economy.
LA and Seattle are empty.
There are no shipping containers. It is empty.
Here's Los Angeles, one of our busiest ports. Nobody's there.
This is not a joke. This is Shanghai right now. Every one of these circles is a cargo ship just sitting there. Now let's take a look at America. This is LA, one of our busiest ports. Literally nobody's there.
Reuters says container traffic in LA dropped 22% this year. That's not a dip, that's an economic faceplant. Imagine telling thousands of dock workers, good news, we're fighting for your jobs, and then casually erasing those very jobs in the process. And it's not just Amazon, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, all getting punched in the wallet by these tariffs. Walmart's cost of goods went up 12%, meaning you'll soon need a small loan to buy toilet paper. Target can't keep electronics on shelves. Mattel might have to turn Barbie into a DIY kit with downloadable legs. Home Depot's shelves are starting to look like that one guy at a potluck who brought nothing but vibes. And Mattel, Barbie's going to need a side hustle just to afford her dream house. Let's talk about the real human cost for a minute. The National Retail Federation says a 10% drop in consumer spending could kill 500,000 jobs by 2026, 500,000 people. That's not just some number. That's grocery workers, warehouse packers, truckers, retail staff, all finding out that economic nationalism means no paycheck. Meanwhile, Trump's Treasury Secretary is on TV talking about how these tariffs create leverage. Sure, if by leverage you mean billions in extra costs and absolutely no proof of manufacturing bouncing back.
My concern is on the tariffs. Who pays tariffs, Mr. Secretary? No. Answer the questions I asked, please. I only have 5 minutes. Who pays tariffs?
Sorry? Well,
who pays tariffs?
Sorry,
Mr. Secretary, please.
Excuse me.
The question is very simply, who pays tariffs, Mr. Chairman? I'd like him to answer that question. He wants to answer other questions.
Well, Congressman, if the exporters, dislike tariffs so much, why wouldn't they, if I think what you're trying to get me to say.
Did you remember the question? I'm not sure you did. Who pays tariffs?
It's a very complicated question.
Reclaiming my time. People pay tariffs, right? Reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time. You clearly aren't going to answer. I'm not going to waste my time having you go,
According to the Peterson Institute, this policy is costing American businesses $50 billion a year. That's billion with a B. As in, boy, this was a terrible idea. And the irony? Amazon's still booming. They're just doing it elsewhere. Mexico's seeing job growth. India's infrastructure is booming. Vietnam's GDP is jumping like it's on a trampoline. And the USA, we're over here watching our supply chains crumble like a bad Jenga tower. And let's be real, this isn't a short-term blip. This is a pivot with consequences. A long-term high-speed slide down the global relevance ladder. A permanent rerouting of billions in trade, investment, and jobs away from US shores and into other economies that aren't tripping over their own policies. Take Mexico. Amazon's investing in distribution centers in Tijuana and Monterrey, like they're opening taco stands. Bloomberg estimates logistics facilities in Mexico are up 35% just this year. That's not a pivot, that's a takeover. India, their tech hubs are booming, factories are humming, and investors are throwing cash at them like they're Beyonce in a stadium. Vietnam's exports? Exploding. Amazon and others are shifting production there so fast, they'll probably need to rename Prime Day to Ho Chi Minh Hour. And back here in the USA, we're staring at empty docks and wondering where it all went wrong. Spoiler, it was the tariffs. Let's not forget.
Pouring back into our country, and you see it happening already. We will supercharge our domestic industrial base. We will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers. And ultimately, more production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers. This will be indeed the golden age of America. It's coming back, and we're going to come back very strongly.
This all started with a promise to bring jobs back. But instead of bringing back factories, we brought back economic anxiety in a recession starter kit. Amazon's pivot is not just a business decision, it's a warning. If the USA keeps playing tough guy protectionist without offering real solutions, we won't just lose trade, we'll lose influence. Global companies will keep adapting, just not in ways that benefit us. So yeah, Amazon's gone, Walmart's struggling, consumers are broke, and the ports are quiet. But don't worry, we've still got the tariffs. But seriously, what do you think? Was this smart strategy? Or did we just shoot ourselves in the foot? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your take. And if we're lucky, we'll get to keep clapping while the economy burns, wearing patriotic hats made in Vietnam.